Opening my eyes, who am I? Harry stared into the mirror, locking gazes with his own reflection, his pupils quaking in disbelief. Well, since I'm here, the enigmatic realm of magic certainly warrants exploration. Having painstakingly vanquished the oppressive system, I might as well embrace a life of leisure. Of course, I resolutely refuse to partake in the foolish escapades of knave children, oppose meddling in matters that do not concern me, and implore the paranoid elder and the disfigured madman to keep their distance. Anyone daring to disrupt my tranquil retirement shall face dire consequences. Chapter 1: Arrival. Harry, still transfixed by the mirror, appeared as though he had encountered a ghost. Trembling, he raised a hand to sweep aside his fringe, revealing a familiar lightning-shaped scar. The klitsch black-rimmed glasses, unruly black hair, piercing green eyes, and the mark left by the Dark Lord. It was all too evident he had finally dispatched the villainous system that forced him into servitude, preparing himself for a quiet demise, but upon blinking, he had unwittingly transformed into the fabled infant martyr, the savior of the wizarding world, Harry Potter. Thus, after turning 11, he was destined to attend Hogwarts for 7 years, engaging in the hero's journey of vanquishing Voldemort, defeating young Voldemort, battling Voldemort's underlings, and ultimately confronting the Dark Lord himself repeatedly until the final confrontation. The problem lay in the fact that his knowledge of the Harry Potter series was limited to its renowned characters, the seemingly immortal antagonist, and a hapless savior. Harry felt a wave of darkness wash over him. No, please. Heartless old orange peel, begone. Deranged elder, retreat. You who ruined my Halloween, withdraw. Someone please save me. Harry slumped despondently onto his small bed, gazing out through the narrow window at the moon hanging in the sky. All I desire is a peaceful retirement. He raised his small hand, observing the rough calluses on his fingertips, then clenched his fist with determination. From tomorrow onwards, I shall self-study magic. As long as I grow powerful enough, no one shall dictate my fate. Once I arrive at Hogwarts, I will promptly align myself with Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. Dumbledore can play his own game. It turns out I'm only 5 years old. In a reckless attempt to cast the killing curse, Harry found himself hospitalized. So, I still have to endure 6 more years of servitude for the Dursleys? Haha, not a chance. Anyone who dares to make me work shall face the wrath of Avada Kedavra. 6 years swiftly passed, and today marks Harry's birthday. Soon as the owl arrived, Harry dashed out of the house and seized it. Vernon's face gradually turned a shade of purple, but after enduring Harry's antics for 6 years, they dared not utter a word. The owl glared at the tufts of its feathers strewn across the ground and angrily pecked at Harry. Hey! Harry yelped, quickly retreating back into his room. It's just a few feathers. He penned a reply indicating that no professor was needed to collect him, instructing the owl to return the message. It's just Diagon Alley. I've been there before. I've even visited Nocturne Alley. Harry tidied his belongings, smiling as he bid farewell to Aunt Petunia and Uncle Vernon. I'm off to Diagon Alley now. I'll find a hotel there and won't be coming back. Aunt Petunia hesitated, wanting to say something. After all, Harry was the child of her sister Lily. Their contentious relationship over the years, particularly the first 5 years of her commands, had made her somewhat remorseful. Harry sensed Aunt Petunia's inner conflict and softened his tone. Aunt, this is for the best for both of us. I understand, Petunia replied stiffly, watching Harry leave. Standing on the street, Harry pondered. I think I'm supposed to extend my hand like this? Forget it. He waited for a moment, only to be greeted by a gust of wind. Not even the shadow of a night bus appeared. So he reluctantly withdrew his hand. I suppose he'll just use apparition. Instead, upon arriving at Diagon Alley, he acquired his wand. Unlike the holly and phoenix feather in the original text, he now held a wand made of blackthorn and the heartstring of a knight. Mare. Harry maintained a smile, his eyes reflecting an inscrutable expression. Noble, powerful, and perhaps death? Oh! How astonishing! Ollivander squinted, muttering. I had assumed another wand would choose you, yet here we are. Well, of course I'm not that savior, Harry Potter. Harry silently scoffed, politely bidding farewell to Ollivander with purpose. He made his way to Madame Malkin's robe shop. Upon reaching the entrance, a golden-haired head caught his eye. Harry halted abruptly, smoothly pivoting towards the Elop's Owl Emporium. Draco Malfoy? What a joke. I specifically went to the wand shop first. How is he still here? Exchanging pleasantries was out of the question. He could only strive to avoid the key characters from the original narrative. Harry left with a lovely snowy owl, naming her Hedwig as per the original story, then purchased all the necessary supplies for school and casually found a hotel to settle into by September 1. As to Harry arrived at King's Cross Station, traversed through the barrier, and boarded the Hogwarts Express. To be fair, he never particularly liked Ron Weasley while reading the original text, but he certainly didn't harbor any disdain. However, he was an important character and had a penchant for causing trouble, so it was best not to engage. Harry laid his head down on the table, choosing to sleep. Upon awakening, the train had already arrived at Hogwarts. In the dim light of night, Harry changed into his robes, Preparing to disembark, a red-haired boy across from him quickly beamed a smile and greeted him. Hey, you're finally awake. Hello, I'm Ronald Weasley, but you can call me Ron. Why are you talking to me? I could have easily avoided you. I'm Harry Potter, Harry replied calmly. Ron's eyes lit up, but then he donned a mask of anguish. Oh, if I am guilty, let death take me, rather than subject me to this wretched plot. Oh, you mean you're the Harry Potter? The one who defeated you-know-who? Ron exclaimed excitedly, leaning in closer. His gaze fixated on Harry's forehead. Perhaps, Harry replied, not keen on letting a stranger admire his scar, and he coldly turned away to exit the train. What was so fascinating about a scar that symbolized death and shame? Harry's calm demeanor concealed his irritation. This scar represented a child who lost his parents, embodied the cowardice of the wizarding world under the Dark Lord, and symbolized Harry Potter's inability to resist Voldemort, a mark of shame, not honor. They enjoy gazing at it? Why? Are they masochists? Hey mate. Ron hurried after him, excitedly inquiring, I mean your scar, did you really kill you-know-who? Harry preferred to ignore him. Ron pressed on, can I see it? Just the scar? Harry abruptly halted. He turned, squinting as he sharply retorted, why? Do you think that the honor of being a savior came at the cost of Harry Potter's parents? Ron finally realized the insensitivity of his words, stammering an explanation. No, that's not what I meant. I just think it's really cool that you defeated you-know-who. Harry cut him to the quick. What makes you think a child under a year old could defeat Voldemort? Ronald Weasley, it was the Potters who vanquished Voldemort. Harry Potter's life was exchanged for his parents' lives. This is not an honor, but a disgrace. How foolish, redhead, can't you see? I'm annoyed with you, do you not understand? A cruel laugh echoed from ahead. Harry looked up to see a glimmering head. Malfoy. Ah! My eyes hurt, my head aches, my stomach churns. Help! I genuinely just wish to be a carefree soul. I implore the original plot to retreat, retreat, retreat. Harry's expression remained impassive as he calmly nodded to Draco and stepped forward, leaving behind the clamor of the feud between their families. The Black Lake was vast, the forest expansive, the half-giant was wondrous, and the castle itself was undeniably magnificent. Even Hermione's animated recitation of Hogwarts history was quite entertaining. Yet, none of this concerned him. Harry pondered earnestly. Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw? The Hufflepuff common room, situated adjacent to the kitchens, was a veritable haven for those who relished life's pleasures. Conversely, the library of Ravenclaw was replete with knowledge, making it the easiest place to acquire wisdom and gain power. However, even if he wished to evade Dumbledore's game of heroism, the conniving old man would undoubtedly find a way to compel him into the fray. Power was the true currency. Under Professor McGonagall's guidance, a throng of young wizards entered the Great Hall. After enduring the cacophonous serenade, Harry's resolve to join Ravenclaw solidified further. He had heard that the Sorting Hat was imbued with ancient magic, hadn't he? By Merlin, it must be Ravenclaw. Once I master ancient magic, I shall not rest until I incinerate this wretched hat and inscribe my name in reverse. Aware of its dismal singing, he was taken aback by just how unpleasant it truly was. It possessed a certain hellish aesthetic, utterly disregarding the lives of others. As the sorting commenced, with the number of standing students gradually diminishing, the anticipation surrounding the savior of the wizarding world escalated. Harry Potter. Professor McGonagall announced his name with clarity. A wave of murmur surged through the crowd as everyone craned their necks to observe the boy approaching the Sorting Hat. Harry approached calmly and placed the hat upon his head. Oh, I see you yearn for power. You possess great intelligence. You are undoubtedly courageous. You. The Sorting Hat's incessant mutterings filled Harry's mind, abruptly halting as it caught a particular thought. When it spoke again, confusion tinged its voice. You merely wish to retire? What on earth? This accursed hat could genuinely peer into one's thoughts. Harry, thinking quickly, employed his mental shielding technique. Ravenclaw, he asserted with determination. Surely Slytherin or Gryffindor would better showcase your talents, the Sorting Hat countered. I have no interest in participating in the hero's game of villainy, Harry emphasized. It must be Ravenclaw. Oh, if that is your desire, the Sorting Hat conceded at last. After all, the old hat has already advised you. What does that mean? Harry narrowed his eyes slightly. Could this also be one of Dumbledore's directives? Ravenclaw. As the Sorting Hat proclaimed his house, an enveloping silence fell over the Great Hall. Above, Dumbledore's blue eyes reflected contemplation, his face still adorned with a warm smile as he initiated the applause. The hall awakened in a jubilant uproar as the Ravenclaws realized their new member, exclaiming, "We have Potter." Harry was warmly welcomed by the upperclassmen into his seat, and under the influence of the joyous atmosphere, a genuine smile broke across his face. Once the sorting ceremony concluded, Dumbledore succinctly announced the commencement of the feast. After everyone had dined, the school song followed, and then Dumbledore declared the prohibitions for the academic year. To be frank, that school song was utterly absurd. Harry silently scoffed, then followed the throng of Ravenclaws back to their common room. As a worthy Ravenclaw, We possess an unparalleled zeal for the pursuit of knowledge, the prefect declared, holding the house badge aloft for the newly arrived young wizards. Employ your wisdom, utilizing whatever means necessary, to securely affix the Ravenclaw badge to your robes. This is a long-standing tradition of our house, and I shall return tomorrow morning to inspect. Harry fondled the blue badge in his hand, the bronze eagle at its center glimmering faintly. As he contemplated which spell to employ, the prefect had already assigned the dormitories. Historically, Gryffindor and Hufflepuff boasted larger numbers, while Ravenclaw and Slytherin students appeared relatively sparse. Yet, this very fact rendered the allocation of dormitories far more lenient. In a typical arrangement of 2 to a room or single occupancy, Harry was fortunate enough to secure a room to himself, easily affixing the badge to his robe. Harry waved his wand to neatly arrange his belongings and reviewed his research drafts once more before retiring to bed. I've heard there are many wondrous creatures and potion ingredients in the Forbidden Forest. When shall I venture to explore? In a state between wakefulness and slumber, Harry pondered drowsily before swiftly drifting into dreams.